Hello everyone and welcome to NXT Battleground. And the night kicked off with some women's tag team action to see who will face Boss and Glow at Night of Champions for the women's tag team championships. And it was Katie and Katana taking on the Iconics. And the match ended with Katie and Katana picking up the win to earn themselves a championship match at Night of Champions. We then moved on to some singles action as MVP took on Dolph Ziggler. Last week, MVP wanted to celebrate his tag team championship win at SummerSlam with Gunther, but it was interrupted by the Dirty Dogs, and after a negative word exchange from Dolph Ziggler and MVP, it ended with Dolph Ziggler super kicking MVP. So that's what led us here tonight, and we're about to see who's going to win this match between these two heated men.
The submission hold. Trying to pry his way out of the submission. And a right hook. The playmaker by MVP. He kicks out with full. Oh my goodness. The arm drag. Roll right into it.
And Dolph Ziggler picked up the win over MVP, and that has got to feel good for the Dirty Dogs. We then moved on to some women's action as Dana Brooke got ready to take on the women's North American champion Elektra Lopez. Last week, Elektra Lopez was gloating about her successful cash-in at SummerSlam, and Dana Brooke came out to express how she felt about Elektra being the champion. And now we are about to see if Dana Brooke can beat the champion here tonight.
Round and round we go. Tilt the world head. Dana Brooke with a corkscrew neck breaker. What an aggressive. Is it enough?
And Elektra Lopez defeated Dana Brooke, and you can bet that also sent a message to the rest of the women's locker room backstage. We then moved on to Kevin Owens having his first official match on Battleground since the trade. And yes, I said trade, because Kevin Owens is now on Battleground and Bobby Lashley is now on NXT 3.0. And Kevin Owens got ready to take on the monster among men, Braun Strowman. And Kevin Owens brought the fight to the monster among men, giving it every single thing that he got. A stunner wasn't enough to keep the monster down, so Kevin went for the submission. The submission wasn't enough either, but Kevin Owens did not give up. He was giving Braun Strowman every single thing he got, even hitting the frog splash, and even that wasn't enough. But at the end, all it took was one running power slam from the monster among men to pin Kevin Owens for the 1-2-3. But what an amazing match that was, and what an amazing showcase from Kevin Owens. We then moved on to our next match, which was the Rated R Superstar Edge taking on Tony D'Angelo, with the World Heavyweight Champion Drew McIntyre being at the announce table for this match. At Night of Champions, Drew McIntyre would defend his World Heavyweight Championship against Edge, but tonight, Edge is going to look to defeat another person who have history with Drew McIntyre, and that's Tony D'Angelo. Matter of fact, at the very first pay-per-view of the NXT 3.0 era, Elimination Chamber, Tony D'Angelo took on Drew McIntyre in a Falls Count Anywhere match. And Drew McIntyre has come a long way since, now being the World Heavyweight Champion. And Edge defeats Tony D'Angelo to go into that match with some hot momentum. We then moved on to some tag team action as we saw the Viking Raiders make quick work of Pretty Deadly, sending a message to the rest of the tag team division on Battleground. And to end the night off, we had a contract signing between the NXT Women's Champion Candice LeRae and her challenger for Night of Champions, the Queen, Charlotte Flair. Both women signed their contracts, and the night ended with a stare-off.